Hey everyone, welcome back to Daybreak. James Hill is here now with national news. James?
Thanks, Courtney. While we here in Pittsburgh dodged a bullet from Superstorm Sandy, the big story is its impact all along the East Coast. The storm, which made landfall in New Jersey Monday night, left 46 people dead in its wake. Millions are still without power, and while the waters have started to recede, many of the coastal areas are still flooded. As the cleanup begins, early estimates put the cost of Sandy's devastation anywhere between $20 and $50 billion. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has reported that President Obama signed multiple emergency declarations, making federal aid available to affected areas. And earlier this week, a 17-year-old student was formally charged with the kidnapping, sexual assault, and murder of 10-year-old Colorado resident Jessica Ridgway. Austin Reed Sig, a student at Arapahoe Community College, was also charged in a May attack of a female jogger. The jogger had escaped uninjured. Sig was arrested last week and charged with strangling Ridgway, who disappeared while walking to her elementary school in early October. Sig has been charged as an adult in both cases. And 3 more people have died due to the nationwide meningitis outbreak. The outbreak, which has been connected to steroid injections made by the New England Compounding Center, has sickened 365 people in over 19 states, resulting in 28 total deaths. A preliminary report released last week by the Food and Drug Administration found mold, bacteria, and other discoloration on vials used by the company. The FDA's report also found the New England Center had found contamination dating back to January 2012, but took no action to address the issue. Massachusetts health officials have moved to revoke the center's license. And finally, Texas police are saying a newborn baby boy who was found abandoned in Corsicana, Texas neighborhood earlier this week. The miraculous part is that the baby survived temperatures that had dropped into the low 40s overnight. Corsicana Police Chief Randy Baton says a woman contacted police after finding the baby, who still had its umbilical cord attached by her doorstep early Monday morning. Baton says that when the identity of the mother is found, she could face charges. The baby was taken to Navarro Regional Hospital and is in stable condition. That's all for national news this week. Back to the couch with Courtney and Lindsey.
Thanks, James. Even though the National Hockey League is still in that lockout, that doesn't mean the hockey isn't alive and well here in Pittsburgh.
Celina Pompeani went out and found what Pittsburgh Predators have to offer to the hockey audience.
The NHL lockout has brought disappointment among many Pittsburghers, but that hasn't stopped the Pittsburgh Predators from having a great start to their season. The Pittsburgh Predators are an amateur hockey team that is playing Bantam Major this year. Their team is mostly made up of kids born in 1999, with a few exceptions. They are one of the youngest teams in the league and by far the smallest. They had their first practice back in June, which they were practicing about once a week until the end of August, where they started practicing more and more. The Predators usually practice at Ice Castle in Castle Shannon. They have been lucky enough to even practice a few times here at Consol Energy Center due to the NHL lockout.
You know, the lockout is terrible. I think it's really hard on these kids. And I think that makes my job as a coach a lot harder, because these kids, they look up to these guys as role models. So I think that without the NHLers, I have to kind of step into their shoes a little bit and be a role model for these kids. It's really hard because they can't go home at night and, you know, put on the game and watch Sidney Crosby play right now. They have nothing to watch. It's hard for them. I know when I was a player, I watched games and I learned a lot from that.
So far, the Predators played 15 games. They've had 3 regular season and the rest were scrimmages. They are 2-1. They play around 22 games per season and also participate in tournaments.
We had a few kids that stood out. A new kid that came to the team, was on our team last year, is Wes Scott. He's one heck of a player. He's big, he's a goal scorer. He really gets in front of the net and does what he gets the dirty work in there. And then we have Will Barnes, who was our leading goal scorer last year and is second behind Wes right now. Our goalie is older than everyone on the team. He's actually a high schooler. He's 9th grade. And he's really stood out in the past few weeks. Until then, it was hard for him to transition to play with younger kids, but at the time right now, he's playing great.
Connor Gilarowski, who is now 12, says he has been skating since he was 2 and started playing at the age of 5. Gilarowski says their biggest rival is the Arctic Foxes, and they're working very hard to beat them.
Practicing our breakout, power play, overload, penalty kill, anything.
We've just been skating harder and getting a lot faster. We're probably going to do pretty good this year. Have a good team, good players. So.
And they also continue to have a good time as the NHL continues to skate on very thin ice. I'm Celina Pompeani for Point Park UView News.
And we have Celina Pompeani here with us now to talk about her package and what went on with these little kids.
That's right. Thank you for having me, guys.
No problem. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, and you're going to join us later with the sports report.
I am. But
gonna give
no
us a little
hockey will
glimpse.
be in that since
There's
new
no hockey
information.
to report about.
Yeah, but we do have some in the Pittsburgh area still going on, like my package, the Pittsburgh Predators. So it was really, really cool to see kids at such a young age. They were 12 and 13, having such passion for this game.
You said age group 12 and 13?
Mm-hmm. A couple were a little bit older. I think the oldest was maybe 15, but.
Oh, okay.
So that's like middle school age, right?
Yeah.
Little, so
7th
little
and 8th
kids.
grade.
On the verge of high school, right there.
So do these kids aspire to someday be in the NHL? I mean, they can't watch like our Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, I guess, this season, but so they do aspire to be in the NHL,
Oh,
right?
they do. They absolutely love it. When I talked to them after, every one of them said they hope to play in college and be professional one day. So it was just really cool to see. I've never even watched kids that young participate in a hockey game ever. I mean, that's crazy that I haven't, but maybe I'm not the only one. But it was just so amazing to sit through their practice. It was about 3 hours long and just watch them. I absolutely loved
That
it.
has to be amazing.
It
Hockey
was.
at any age has to be amazing. Like,
And
I'm
they
in
were
love
so
with the game.
talented.
Exactly.
It was great.
Well, it was a great package, Celina.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for doing that for us. Thanks for being on.
Anytime.
So when Daybreak returns, Election Day is very soon. Cassie Raddick will be here with the coverage of Decision 2012.